Okay, so as I promised last time, I'll show you how I set up my developer setup with Hyperland and NeoVim. So first I downloaded Manjaro virtual, like an ISO image. I took the XFC minimal. Now I wanted to go with an Arch-based distro just because Hyperland works better on Arch. But for NeoVim you can do whatever you want with any distro. You'll see in a bit. So I set up this virtual machine. I haven't installed yet the OS. I'll just go to the installation and probably speed up the video or something for you just to see the installation process. So to install a virtual machine, you just have to put here the ISO in the controller storage. And then when you start the virtual machine, it should start in the boot screen. So let's choose this one, and yeah, I think I'll go through the installation. Anyway, it should be pretty quick, so I don't know, like 10 minutes might take, something like that. Okay, so yeah, I just had to remove the um, drive from the settings, and I also had to put 4 CPUs because it was putting really slow. Um, I waited for like 5 minutes to boot, but it wasn't starting, so I just, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty old laptop. I'm not on my usual setup right now. But anyway, so we can start the terminal. I mean, okay, let's see. We should have a terminal in here, probably a web browser. Let's see, in our new virtual machine. So let's see if we can go on GitHub. Okay, yeah. Let's go on my GitHub and first let's try to get the neovim .files because we might need to do some changes here. So let's um, let's try to zoom in. Let's create a folder for the setup. You can just save them anywhere you want, doesn't matter. So let's clone the .files. Okay, so we don't have neovim. Um, that's interesting. We need to install it first. And since we are on Manjaro, let's use pacman and get neovim. Well, first, I mean, yeah, you should do like an update, but we don't really care. So Oh, it's a new view, right? The name of the package. Okay, so now if we open up new Vim, you'll see that it's the default settings, but we should be able to run this install script and yeah, basically install it. So first, let's check what is the name of the release inside of Manjaro. Let's see. So the name is actually different. It's not Arch. So we have to update the install script. I'll do it like right now. It supports like Arch, Ubuntu, and Linux Mint because these are the distros that I use. And if we try to run install, it will say that well, it doesn't work. Please create an issue to support this distro, and I will like try to add it. It's just because each distro has a different package manager, and on some of them the package names are also different. So it's Manjaro. But yeah, I mean Manjaro and Arch are the same. But for example, for Ubuntu, some of the packages have other names. It's not FD, it's FD-defined, and so on. So you can just whatever. Let's install this. So now it install like the dependencies for NeoVim. Let me put this because it's too much transparency to be honest, but hopefully you can see it. So then after that it asks you for optional plugins like for color. This will I think install by default just Groovebox for NeoVim. Then the plugin for to-dos like show to-do comments, like why not. For Copilot, if you want to use GitHub Copilot, like if you have it, of course you can use it. Let's say yes, doesn't matter. For Harpoon, it's like that plugin that lets you change between files quickly. Let's also say yes. For Obsidian, this is like to have nodes like inside of the Notion or Obsidian or whatever app you are using. Let's say no because I don't want to set this up. And then it will ask you about some like to make sure that you have the right fonts to be able to use the setup correctly. So can you see a check mark? Then yes, and the branch symbol. So I think if you can see these symbols, it should be fine, and you should be able to also see tmux correctly. So yeah. Okay, then we need to add this to our path. um, Here it really depends on what shell you are using. Like right now I'm using bash because it's the default. It's yeah. So let's that's for the script which is the Mux sessionizer. Oh, we already have local bin in our path, which is nice. Okay, yeah. So when you run tmux sessionizer, it looks through your personal and work, like personal and work folders. So uh, you can change this. Usually I like to have like personal for like personal projects and work for work projects, although I don't do the work projects locally. Like you use like your work laptop or something. So yeah. So I think that if we okay, um let's create this personal folder. Let's go inside of it. Let's create like my first project or something. Okay, and now if we run tmux sessionizer, we should get it. Yeah, it's just that when you first install Tmux, you need to refresh it, like run Tmux source file and then .tmux.conf to, or like press what's it called, prefix shift I, and that installs all the dependencies. But yeah, I mean, it's just for the first time. And after that, if we open up NeoVim in this folder, it should automatically install all the dependencies. Okay, and I think like this should be for Groovebox. So let's say f.h. Yeah, we don't have Copilot inside of this virtual machine, but you can set it up yourself. Okay. I don't know if we have GCC. We don't. Oh, here we have. I mean, yeah, I'm not really used to using Bash, so it's okay. So as you can see, installing NeoVim is pretty easy. Now to install language servers, you have to use Mason, and then you search, for example, for Clang D. You install it, takes a bit of time. But after it's installed, you edit the file, and it's like already working, and it's pretty much like as easy as it's in VS Code to install language servers and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much this is the new Vim config and the Tmux. Okay, so now let's try to install the Hyperland config. So let's go to I think it's Hyperland, right? This is and it should be as simple as NeoVim is. So let's see. So let's go into setup again, just to, well, actually, I mean, let's go into personal and move it here. So let's clone this thing. Okay, let's now since we have Tmux session, yeah, like in my in Kit you can use Control F to run this script, and it's easier than having to type it. Let's go inside of this, and yeah, pretty much we just have to run install. So let's close all that stuff. We don't no longer need it, hopefully. Interesting. Okay, so it's the same thing. I will also make here like a switch statement. Wait, did I just forgot to put something here? Okay, let's just change Arch to Manjaro for the moment. Let's okay, so first of all, it asks you if you want to install EA, which is like the AUR helper, because some of the dependencies are from AUR, not from the default repository or whatever it's called. So, uh, I mean, it's a yes or no, but you should do yes if you don't have it. Okay, so I mean the password, and yeah, I mean here I'll just put the case statement, and again, like the only issue with Hyperland is that it works a bit better on Arch from what I understood, but maybe like that was a few months ago, so maybe now it's fine on whatever distro. Okay, let's see. Oh, we don't have make, so that's something to note. We need to install make before. I think it's like base devel or something, so which has make and all the stuff. So that's something to note. We need to make and put like the oh wait, was it? I think it's fine even if there was like already there. Yeah, so basically I have like for each distro there should be like an install script. And I mean this could be made better so that you don't clone it here. But yeah, anyway, it should do all it should install yay. So now if we check the version, we have this thing. Now we install all the dependencies. This might take a bit of time. It installs like hyperland, fonts, the status bar. To be honest, I don't even remember. I put like let's check them together. Oh, it's in distro, Arch, Firefox. Like if you want to change it, whatever. Fish. I like to use this shell. Although you have to change it. Some fonts. No, it also installs NeoVim. So actually, it's might be better to first install Hyperland config and after that NeoVim config. But I mean, yeah, Rofi for running stuff. I think I'm using Tunar for the file manager. And yeah, I mean some basic stuff, right? Then there's like some optional packages. I put them just like I was testing with having multiple yes and no questions, how it would feel. And yeah, it's like Discord, Steam, stuff that you would use maybe or maybe not. Like these are like to make the config work, the required packages. So you should install them. Yeah, probably I should have said like without even yes or no, just install them and that's it. But I was thinking that maybe you want to rerun the install script for some reason and you don't want to go to the installation process again. Okay, so yeah, now we have to wait a bit. Yeah, to be fair, I'm really curious to see if the config will work first try, because I built this install script while like installing Arch at the same time, and um, I haven't tested since. I haven't tested the script since, so I have no idea. Like, see, like make wasn't installed already, so actually I've noticed some error during the install. Um, Not sure yet what's about. Maybe we should run an update and then install again or something. It's like an error for hyperland git, or maybe there's like some problem you can't, and it doesn't work on virtual machines or something. But we'll see about it. Hopefully it's something we can fix easily, because I like to use the I just want to use the git version of hyperland, but if the stable one works, then can use that instead of like deleting everything that has dash git in the install. Maybe that fixes it. Okay, so I mean, while I wait for the install to finish, because for you, yeah, I'll just skip it. Let me show you some of the themes that I like in NeoVim. So I have like this one is, well, we can just call the function. So this is like color scheme that's really simple. It has, I think, 3 or 4 colors, like a dark gray, simple gray, and red for variables and stuff like numbers and strings. The other one that's cool, I mean, it's the Groovebox one. This is like, and yeah, for the background, I think it's 10 GUI colors, which makes the background transparent. It uses like the colors from the terminal or something. So if you have your terminal with transparency, then it uses transparency. Not really sure. Like even even this, what's it called? I forgot. Telescope will be transparent if you use that. But let me check, because you saw that this one wasn't transparent. So if we go back and hmm, it's not this. Well, I mean, whatever. Anyway, I think it's something related to term GUI colors though, to make it transparent. So it's yeah, I mean, I was prepared to write brain fuck. I have PTSD from that thing yesterday, and like the other 2 days before that. It was like I wasted like 2 or 3 hours trying to make that adder. It was insane. Anyway, this is my favorite though, the Breaking Bad color scheme. You really feel like, yeah, I'm not even gonna say it. It's yeah, I mean, it really amazes me how like the strings are this green, which is exactly like in Breaking Bad, and the numbers really white, and also the yeah, it's like really clear. I don't know, it looks nice, especially combined with the Hyperland Breaking Bad color scheme. Let's try to set it up like that. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I'll just leave it like this for now. I mean, there's basically no changes. You just come here, set the color scheme. But if you want to persist it, let's say, and anything, you would have to go into your plugins, not the default ones, but plugins. Okay, and here instead of the Groovebox one, you'd have to go to, this is where the Breaking Bad color scheme comes from this guy, i3D or whatever. So here we say color my Breaking Bad, and that's enough to change to. Okay, I think you actually need to reopen NeoVim. Yeah, I might have to make the transparency work, although I don't really care about transparency, to be honest. But yeah, this is how you set your color scheme to Breaking Bad. Okay, let's try again because my stuff was crashing, but this time I removed all the dash git from the names, right? So hopefully, like probably it's something related to like using a virtual machine on a bad laptop. But I mean, it's like a good stress test for the install script, I guess, doing it like this. I mean, who knows? Hopefully, like installing Hyperland, not the Git version, it's like just a binary, you don't have to build it. So maybe it was like something related to, like just for your information, if the script doesn't work, then just try to remove the dash git, although it's not gonna be the latest version. So, but yeah, like when I installed it on my main PC, it was fine. Like the first time, it didn't complain at all, even with the dash git version. So maybe there should be like a flag or something, like maybe it should be arch dash git and r and without git, and then you can choose whatever you want. So yeah, I mean, I guess like the description of this video will be something like the URLs to the repos and something like just run the install script, and if you have any issues, you can watch the tutorial to see like some comments maybe. Okay, so I was a bit away and yeah, it actually worked now. So I'll just run it again just to reach at the yes and no question. So let, let's not install again the packages. Thank you. Don't install the optional packages. We don't want to wait anymore, any longer than we waited already. Then let's copy the config files. This will overwrite all the hyperland configs that you have. So, and also resets them to like the factory settings, sort of speak, because how I made the config is we have a default conf, and this is like all the defaults, and then you have a hyperland conf which will be a copy of the default, and you can change this copy however you want, and it's ignored in the git ignore, so it won't affect the repo. So let's say yes, just reset everything, and this is hyper theme, which allows you to set themes in the for hyperland. You'll see which themes are available. Let's install this and wait. I think it will take like a few seconds. Okay, so hyper theme installed, and now we get the following question: what theme do you want to set? And since we already started on the Breaking Bad way, let's choose this. And I guess it's for you to figure out how darker and Groovebox look like. I mean, Groovebox is the one that I use, so you already saw it, and the other one is darker, and default is just the default hyperland. So let's go with Breaking Bad. It will have to install some dependencies, and yeah, probably will also take like a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to install that. So choose one, and let's see. Okay, so it was actually quite fast, and now we get the questions for the waybar widgets that we want to display. So for the weather, let's choose yes. For available updates, again yes. For the daily status, yeah, this requires manual configuration. It's like um, a shell script, and you do whatever you want in that shell script. I usually link it to the Obsidian plugin from NeoVim and display some stuff like daily sh or something. So if you want it, you can try to figure out how to set it up, but let's select no for this one. Let's show the system info, the network status. Since I'm on a laptop, I think we should be able to see Bluetooth status, although I don't have any Bluetooth stuff. Let's see if it displays anything. Also battery, although I'm on a VM, so I don't know how this will work. And yeah, volume status. Okay, so I've actually found a small bug in the install script. Actually, here we don't want to say uh, the relative path. We want to use mm, like the path to this script. So let's check, because I mean we already have like how to get the script. Oh, it's not this. Although yeah, it should be exactly like this, right? If we go to now, this is install. So if we look at the install script from here, when we install, we tell it a path. So yeah, it should be able to figure out the path. So let's go to the top. I think, yeah, I defined that thing there. So yeah, let's put it here for now. So it will be script dir. This should be equal to dir name read link. I'm sorry, read link dash f, and we give it the first argument, which is this. You have to say script dir. So like this. Yeah, I'll just leave it to install all the stuff and then rerun the install script to fix this. Okay, so running the install again. So let's say here yes again. We no longer need to install hypertheme, and let's say 1 again. So hopefully this time, let's set the weather, set the updates. No, yes, yes, set everything else. So now if we take a look inside of Waybar and we look at the colors should be set, and the config JSON again should be generated with all the stuff that we uh, asked. Like these are the optional stuff that we put. These are the defaults, and yeah, basically it uses this generate.py script to generate the waybar config. It's huge, but it was mainly copy pasting the config. So I had the config and I converted it to a JSON object and put it inside the Python file. So it wasn't uh, that hard to do, even though it's huge. So, and yeah, the style was basically also like copy pasting. So uh, the idea is that what you should have inside of this waybar is this color config. So you set the colors, what colors you want to use, this generate.py file, and pretty much that's how you create a waybar config. So you run the script. I mean, it will look the same, but it will have the colors that you want. So that's the only thing. Okay, so basically in order to enable the GTK theme and everything, we have to run the load script inside the theme manually because Hypertheme no longer runs it. So I have to add this line in the install script. But yeah, this is how we enable that. So if we go to Groovebox and we do the load, it should switch to that theme, right? To the Groovebox theme. So yeah, that's something that I need to add in the install script to fix it. And again, I still have to figure out why Hyperland won't run on Manjaro. So if you already have Display Manager installed, you might want to try to enable SDM service and use force just to replace the symlinks to the old one. Usually this works better with Hyperland, but so far haven't been able to fix that for the Manjaro installation. Yeah, so basically I've tried running Hyperland how it says in the wiki, but yeah, I mean I already knew that VMs weren't really a thing for Hyperland, but I've tried. So the only reason is that I like on my main PC I already have Hyperland installed, so I wanted to try to install it from scratch, and I just don't really want to make it work for Linux Mint. But I guess I'll try to do that and install it directly on the hardware of this laptop instead of a VM. So let's see. So yeah, I was trying to install it on Linux Mint, but since it's based on Ubuntu and such, we don't really have any, let's say, the interesting packages like for Kitty. We don't have themes enabled to set up the theme. So yeah, you might need actually the latest Ubuntu to be able to use Hyperland in something like this. And even then it's hard to install it, like I couldn't get it done. If we check the install, yeah, like even like all these with a star are kind of not really supported. So yeah, I mean I've tried to install it from scratch, and if you check this thing here, you might be able to get it done on Ubuntu 23.04. So like if you follow this, maybe you can get it to work. But yeah, you actually need to use either Arch Linux Nix, but to be honest, I have no idea how to do the config for Nix. And yeah, the rest of them are not really that friendly for my config, but I mean, at least, like let's say, at least getting Tmux and NeoVim to work, I think it's good enough for, like, mainly these were the questions that I've got for NeoVim and Tmux, I guess. Like, the status bar is not really that important. You can use any window manager, to be fair, if you cannot have Arch or Nix in this case. So yeah, pretty much I guess this concludes the dot files.